Hi, this is Rick Dagley with Data Center Knowledge. We're here today at Data Center World 2024 in Washington, D.C. And here with me today is Steve McDowell, Chief Analyst with NAND Research. Thank you, Steve, for joining us
Hey,
today.
thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So I was just wondering, what have any quick takeaways about the show so far?
There a lot of excitement among the attendees, right? A lot of interest around topics that I wasn't sure were going to be as interesting as they were. Like, the sessions on liquid cooling, right, are selling out. The sessions on AI, standing room only. Just a lot of energy from a normally very conservative crowd. So it's good to see.
I did notice that there was a line this morning to get into the liquid cooling session. Can you talk a little bit more about what you see the future of liquid cooling?
Yeah, so liquid cooling is an area of what's driving a lot of disruption in the data center world, right? The motivation for liquid cooling is really twofold. Well, the primary driver, it's hard to avoid conversations around generative AI right now. Right? Generative AI, very GPU heavy. The thing about GPUs is these things are running twice as hot, consuming twice the power of traditional processors. Intel or NVIDIA's latest Blackwell GPUs, for example, 1,200 watts. So I can only put a few of those in a rack before power and heat dissipation is a big problem. Liquid is the answer to that. Now the challenge is not a lot of standardization around liquid cooling right now. Right? You have things, Open Compute is driving some efforts, but it's still, there's a lot of VHS versus Betamax in terms of what's going to be the ultimate solution. And I think that's causing a lot of confusion and anxiety among, data center technicians. So I'm not surprised, really, to see that it was standing room only, right? A line out the door.
Right. And you mentioned AI and Gen AI. Obviously, that's the hot ticket right now, and it's causing a lot. It's really boosting the energy consumption. But how do you see it affecting sustainability in a good way in the future?
Well, so it's a twofold problem, right?
Yeah.
Number one is it is consuming a lot more energy. That's the physical hardware side of it. The application of this AI, though, promises to really impact and improve the sustainability story. In that, I'm building intelligence now into my data center that understands kind of the power consumption and HVAC and things like that, and helps me optimize. And in some cases, does that for me, right? So using we talk a lot about generative AI right now, but really there's more traditional AI techniques around causal AI, around predictive AI and predictive analytics. Those are the technologies that are being used to build intelligence into the infrastructure that then helps control the sustainability piece.
Great. There's a third, we've talked about sustainability, we've talked about AI. Another big topic of discussion here has been the shortage of data center workers.
It's a challenge, and part of it is education, right? This is there's more data centers than ever before,
Right.
and they're not lights out. We still need people to understand what's happening, but the role of the data center operator and technician is shifting. Right? There was a time where it was enough to understand how to rack and stack a server and plug it in. Right now I've got all this liquid stuff coming in. I've got blended environments. I have, rack densities are changing with AI and what I can do. So it really comes down to, you need a more educated workforce.
Right.
Now the good news is anybody who wants to get into the data center business at a working level, there's never been better educational resources available. Right, everything that Open Compute Foundation's ever done is online, right? And they're driving a lot of the standards around racks, around cooling, around power, data center knowledge, right? Every day I look at your site and there's some news, right, that's helping educate me.
Right.
And then my advice to anybody looking to get into, as a working data center technician is, follow OCP. If you're interested in HVAC, follow the ASHRAE guys. IEEE. There's so many resources available. Now, does that solve the talent gap? No, right? I mean, there's education and motivation. But I don't think it's ever been easier for somebody to, self-educate as much as you don't have to go to a trade school, right? You can learn this.
Well, that's good news. I know there's a lot of a push to get more women and minorities into data center world. And do you have any insight on what's holding that back? Why?
It's changing, right? But it's a slow evolution. Engineering for a lot of the technical professions, for whatever reason, have not historically been friendly in a diverse place. That's changing over generations.
Right.
So the generation I came up in, often I'd be in an engineering team and there wouldn't be another woman
Right.
another woman. There wouldn't be a woman in the building.
Right.
That's shifting, right? We're seeing women in leadership, and that's going to pull more, right? Women and minorities up. The keynote yesterday, we had 2 women, one from AMD, one from Intel, right? We're seeing that across the industry, and it's an ongoing challenge, but I do think it's improving. And as we have more kind of visible women in leadership or minorities in leadership, right, that's going to provide both a role model and proof that all us old white guys are wrong, right? We need that diversity.
Yeah, that was great to see the 2 women on the keynote stage yesterday, and hopefully it will just influence others to step up and and just to pursue a career in data centers. Now we're running out of time here. I just wonder if there's anything else you'd like to add, that any future trends we haven't hit up on.
Yeah, so So it's liquid cooling and sustainability and cybersecurity are probably the top 3 issues for anybody operating. At a macro level, we're challenged as to where we can place data centers because we're out of power. Right? We're in Northern Virginia here, and I can't build a new 50 megawatt data center if they can't give me the juice. So we're looking at liquid cooling to kind of help with the increased power consumption of AI. But set AI aside. Right, those same technologies are going to lower the footprint of my building for traditional servers. I'm going to need less HVAC, right? I'm going to waste less energy. So it's really about putting these technologies together to solve problems like sustainability. So that's where I'm focused over the next year.
No, that's great. And I thank you so much for joining us at the Data Center Knowledge News Desk here at Data Center World, and I just appreciate the insight you've provided us today.
You bet. Pleasure.
And thank you all for listening.